I'm the superintendent at St. Joe's American School. I'm in charge of the discipline, and I also teach 10th grade social studies. And actually, I started traveling here to Egypt. My wife, she studies Arabic, and she's been here before, so we were in a position to travel and to see the world, so we decided to travel. And I was living in Alexandria before, and then we visited here, we came here to visit, and it's a much better place. It's a lot more, it's similar in a lot more ways to the States than Alexandria was. So, and then with it being a resort town, it's just a nice place to live, nice, comfortable place. It's not too many people, but it's not that small either. So it worked out for me, being from the southern part of the United States. So it's a lot slower pace. Yeah. So in my position here, I deal with the discipline, so I have a chance to interact with all the students from grades, from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. And it allows me to affect the change in a small way, sometimes in big ways. I'm able to talk to the students, to discuss their issues, to help them through life. And it's rewarding in itself. It's very rewarding. Yeah. Differences. I think here the students are more cultured. So there are challenges that you don't necessarily see in the States, and then there's a lot of things that makes it easier to deal with students because they're not put in a box, so to speak. They don't know only one way. So it's in a sense I almost learn from them as much as they learn from me. But dealing with the students here, it's how do I put this? It's eye-opening because coming from the States, all you know is the American culture. But here you have to interact with different cultures, so you see how people interact with one another, and you actually end up learning as much from them as they learn from you dealing with the students. So it's a definite eye-opening situation to see the students interact, and you have students from all over the country, all over the world in one place. From Russia, from Italy, from America, from Egypt. So then there's the language. Everyone speaks different languages, but English being the central language. So it's a learning experience, and it's fun. It's fun.
You can say that you can find yourself in a place like Sharm el-Sheikh because you can guarantee that if you have innovation, if you are a creative teacher, you can find a place for you there. Especially if you have people of a very flexible way of thinking. Because we are lucky that we have, that our principal is not that old. She's still fresh graduate, or she's young, of all creative way of thinking, of all readiness to give you a chance to motivate your students and adopt many techniques of teaching. That helped me a lot. Adding to that she all the time pushing us in order to do our best in order to help the students, which you put in your career as your target. Why do you work? In order to help students to be something in their career which motivates them to be better citizens and be better learners, and to help them to be ready for their university studies and real life, and be ready for career, because we connect our teaching here with real life. For me, I'm fostering their way of thinking and how to think critically, how to use their skills in performance, how to do research, how to look the net, how to express their own opinion. I don't count a lot on memorization or coming to class just pouring what they learn by heart. I want them to have opinion in life itself and to relate what they study in school with their real experience. For the library, I have extracurricular activities for library, especially because I created what we call it improving reading for schools. So I asked them to read more and to widen their scope of learning through exposed to different genera of literature. You find that we have students now, I'm 100% sure that they are ready to be involved in their society and their university study.
multicultural and multinational and everything. And it was also a new experience for me because in Cairo, in schools, it's 99% all Egyptians, pure Egyptians. And here you have pure Egyptians, you have pure foreigners, and you have a mixture foreigners married to an Egyptian. So really you can see everything. And they teach us and we teach them.
Of course, and that I'm young, but I've earned it. I graduated when I was 20. I did my master's degree. I finished. I've attended a lot of the advanced ed workshops. I have the experience for it. I've worked here for 3 years first before I got to this place. I mean, first I did superintending, and then I did some administration work, and then our principal had to relocate to Abu Dhabi. And I was put in the spot, and I did well for my first term until they were finding a replacement, and then I'm here. And it's been going well ever since. Our rates have raised, which is something that we did not expect according to what's happening around us in the city and in the country. But I mean, we're doing well in terms of leadership, and the changes that we've done so far, I think, are things that are going to reflect in our next accreditation. I've also done a lot of renovations since I came here. I've done a lot of changes to curriculums and books and the way the system has been going, and I just hope that that reflects into student learning, and that's something that the results of our MEP tests show. I mean, the numbers are increasing just because very young families move into Sharm el-Sheikh, and then you get to basically build up from kindergarten and it moves up. And so the biggest numbers we have in this school at the moment are the numbers that are coming from kindergarten to grade 1 and 2. And I think that's going to keep it moving up because right now, not a lot of hotels can afford to hire the big personnel or the more expensive personnel, and so they hire younger, fresh graduates with sometimes a fresh vision. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's mostly what's happening in the moment, and they move in with their very young families, which includes kids that will come to this school. We have a great mix of students. I think I've seen it all. We had Chinese, we have at the moment Turkish, British, Russians, Ukrainians, Italians, French. I think we have a multicultural body. We have students coming from all over. The thing that we're seeing more now is the mixed students, a lot of foreign nationality with an Egyptian. And with those come a different segment of students because they come with so many ideas, not only culturally different, but also just things that you haven't experienced before just because of the mix that was created. And a lot of times you see that in younger students who speak 3 languages and they're only 5-year-old. And that to me is fascinating, to have one child being able to differentiate what language to use with their mom, what language to use with their dad, and what language to use in school, and they don't get mixed up. In my head, it takes me a couple of minutes to switch from Arabic to English and back and forth. I mean, so that's interesting. Well, it actually depends on what's happening at home. And this is what we see. If the parents are encouraging enough to have the student practice their English language as much as their other languages, we see a huge change. We've had students who come here with no language skills, and I mean no language English skills at all. And within a year, they speak as proficient as a native speaker just because of the mix in the classroom. First of all, the teaching is done in English, but nevertheless, I mean, for them to be able to talk to their other kids in the class or to socialize, they need English. And therefore, they get it, whether they want it or not, they get it. And even though that Sharm is a multicultural place, English is the main language even out of school. So for them to go buy something from the supermarket, they might be able to use a bit of their home languages because even the street sellers know a bit of Russian, a bit of English, a bit of everything, because that's what they're exposed to every day. But most of the time for them to get served, they need their English. And this is how students like that will get their language skills in a year or 2 if they're being encouraged. If they're not coming to school every day though, and nobody at home is telling them to do the work they're supposed to do, they still get it, but not as quickly as parents who are concerned and more connected to you, and they want to have their kids gain the language skills they need to gain. But yes, we have actually a live example in grade 2 of a Turkish student who came here with no English whatsoever and come talk to him now. He has arguments with me in English, not arguments, but he questions. Like he comes to ask me about his books and why he's doing this or how he's doing that in English. And at the beginning of the year, he could barely tell me what his name was. The school is much, much smaller. I am the second graduating class of this school. The first graduating class was 2 girls. Our second graduating class was just 4 girls in the classroom. And so basically it was less than having a private lesson in Cairo. People were like, yeah, she go to school and there's 4 other people in the class. And I think art class, I used to like our art class. We had a very interesting art teacher who would put music and let us just experiment. And because I was moved from national schooling from grade 9 and then I attended American schooling from grade 10 because that was the trend then. Nobody knew what American schooling was. Not a lot of schools had elementary, middle, and high school, especially in the city. Well, that takes me back to how the school started. The owner of the school only started the school because of his children and his friends' children, which happens to be the case because we were not getting adequate education in the only experimental school in Sharm el-Sheikh. It teaches you English, math, and science in English, but it was just a public school. And this is how the owner started thinking about, okay, the kids are not getting any education, there's something that needs to be done about it. And this is how it was. And I think one of my memorable moments would be just our graduation day, because it was quite interesting having 4 girls on stage and having everyone give a graduation speech because there were only 4 of us. And I think that's my memorable moment there. Since that, things started going down. I mean, so no, that's not a great memory there, and the scenery was not great. But as a principal, my memorable moments, I think, are when my high school students come and visit me again and tell me, because they complain a lot, you know how students are. They usually complain of the workload and how much work they have to do, and it's memorable when they come to me and tell me, oh, we were in this class, and we remember when you told us about this and that, and you told us that was important, and we didn't think it was then. We're actually glad that you taught us this, that. I think will be.
I've been living here for more than like 10 years. It was pretty hard for me in the beginning because I was not like so familiar with the English people or foreigners. And then I became used to them. And here in this school, like I feel it's like a home. Actually, we are all together, different people, different cultures. We're all getting things from each other. I'm learning from their culture, they're learning from ours, different languages. So I found it like better than just being only Egyptians or only the same nationality. Here we have different people, different everything. So it's pretty good here. Oh well, after school it's normally we just go home, study for the next day. We don't usually go out to any place during the week of the studying. But in the weekends we have here many places to go out, such like we have Mercato, we have Nama Bay, Soul Square, Hollywood, many places for Thursdays and Fridays. And Saturdays we also study. And I'm interested more in the things about designing and these kind of things. But so far, I did not choose one thing. Every time I change any, I had an opportunity to go to marketing, things doing with business, and then I wanted engineering, and then I wanted designing. So far, I want to go something doing with designing or architecture, these things. So far.
It's very interesting because this school is like multinational. There's a lot of nations. For example, my friends are Italians, Spanish, Egyptians, English, and they are all like different. It's very interesting to speak with them. I like to play tennis, and it's like my hobby. Also kite surfing, because I live in Sharm. It's a very good place to kite surf. Also diving. It's the best place for diving. They're all different as well. I mean, they have like, they dance, someone sings, someone likes to play football, you know. I love history, I like to know things. I love to know how the things were in the past. Yep. The first guy who built the engine for the rocket to launch a person in space was Korolev. He was Russian, and it's like my favorite character from the past in the history. And the first guy who managed to go to space was Yuri Gagarin, which is also Russian. Yeah, and now it's very, now we know a lot of things about space, and I like it so much. Third quarter project, and we built the school. We built our own school. We made the maquette of the real school, and we did a lot of things about it, like uniform, logos, glasses, and it was really awesome.
Actually, it's quite different, because actually, like, most of the people think that in Italy it's more advanced, but then when you see the American schools here and you see schools in Italy, the English is more advanced, and we have many other languages, and the math is more advanced, and everything is way better. I have more friends here because I live here since I was born, and like I just have really few friends there. They have different traditions, but they're still like just my friends. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, it's kind of a different, like, hanging out or different activities. Maybe in Italy we have more things to do because Sharm is like a small place, so maybe in Italy we have more places to go out, and here it's a bit less, but I still, like, I go out more here than when I'm in Italy or something. What do I do? When I'm here, I hang out with my friends. That's really going out on weekends. I hang out with my friends, like in Mercato or in Nambe. And in Italy, I go to like different malls, and that's it. While for the curriculum activities, for example, in Italy, I don't go to school there, so I don't have. But here we have like many projects. We take many projects to do, and we have community service, and we have community service, and we have like sports day and all of these things. Yes, we had one project. We had this project we had to do a maquette of a school. We had to like make like our own school, and we had to like start from everything. We had to do our own maquette, and we had to do the whole curriculum and everything. This was like my favorite project since I'm here. And about the community service, I really like the sports day community service. We had many activities. We had like mothers activities, and we had small children, and we had like high school activities. It was really fun. I'd love to be actually a psychologist, and it's like, yeah, I really like talking to people and like trying to solve the problems and stuff. So yeah, psychologist is what is in my mind.